The Hearts of Gold podcast is brought to you by the Grow and Share Network, produced by Off the Walter Media.
Welcome to Hearts of Gold. Today we have Leah with us. Hi, Leah.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Well, we're happy to have you here. Can you tell us about your Girl Scout Gold Award project?
Sure. So my Gold Award project is called Sensory Friendly Futures, and it's all about promoting neurodivergence awareness. And what I did is I created 20 of these fidget bins, and I placed them in libraries, schools, after-school programs to promote neurodivergence awareness.
What gave you this idea?
I was diagnosed with autism when I was 2 years old, and I noticed that as I was growing up, I didn't realize that, there was a lot going on with the neurodivergent community, as well as I noticed that there wasn't a lot of sensory-friendly spaces available. So what I did is I've actually had this dream ever since I was, I believe, 10 years old to say, okay, I want to do something that not only will interest everyone else, but come from my point of view as someone who's had autism all her life. And that has been my main passion, that I want people to know what it's like and how we cope as neurodivergent people.
Can you share some of the things that you put into your fidget box?
Sure. So first, we have the lid. This lovely logo was made by me and my project advisor. This is a calming strip. So this is used, this has a texture on it, and this actually helps people calm down and regulate. I also have water timers. This is one of my favorite water timers, but I gotta give a huge shout out to this one because this one's a lot more, this has a lot more to it. I also have poppets, a bunch of them, Unhealthy Obsessions, poppet balls. I also have a little snake. This has actually been a lot of people's favorite. Everyone's asking, where did you get this? Where did you get this? I'm like, Amazon. And this is a little sled, and it makes sound. I actually have a bigger one of these. And even though I love the color, I love the bigger ones better. I also have pop tubes. So they go like this, and then you can put them back, and you also can connect them like that. Also, I've had companies sponsor my bins. So not only did I have family sponsor my bins, but I had actual brands sponsor my bins. So one of our lovely, lovely sponsors is Little Ouchies. This is a company that was founded by a guy named Greg, and his wife actually has autism. And he created this brand not only to support his pain-stimming wife, but to also support other people who might be in her position. So he made these, and he actually has a website, and he published these so that everyone can have equal access to these. So they have little spikes, and you can squeeze them. You can also roll them on your skin.
They look like a tiny roller that you use, that fitness people use, like to roll out their muscles, with little teeny tiny spikes on them, but they're hand-sized. They're super cool.
They are. Thank you. Yeah, I actually have one that is color shifting. So it's blue going into purple. Yeah, I love this. It gives a good amount of sensory input. I also have another sponsor that we have is Crazy Aaron's Thinking Putty. This is a very popular brand when it comes to all things putty and hands-on. I have 4. They actually gifted me a 36 dozen. So I have Radical Red. This one actually, if you shine it into the sun, it's actually metallic. So it looks metallic. The other 2 that I have here are more when you hold it up to the sun, it actually turns into a darker color. So this is part of their mini Sunshine Spring collection. This is Piglet, and this is Green Frog. These 2 are my personal favorites. And the last one that I have in here is called Moonlight, which is a holographic putty. And I love these.
Those are super cool. And for putty, is it another textual thing where you would put the putty in your fingers and then moving it around?
Yeah, like during class, I usually love to have one of these in like my pencil case because I have a 3-compartment pencil case. So I have one reserved exclusively for fidgets, and like people are always stealing these out of my bag. I'm like, where is that? And people like these. That's why I put them in there, because I knew, I was like, you know what? Whatever might have helped me, it might help you too. That's kind of how I did this. Finally, a couple other things here. I have homemade worry stones. These worry stones, actually, my aunt owns a pottery business, and she donated a couple dozen of these to my project. And they're amazing. Like, they actually have a glazed center.
I saw when I was looking at your Instagram, I saw those in your Instagram, and one of your activities was your aunt gave you the blank ones and then people painted their own, right?
I made the blank ones, and I had the kids actually either paint them or color them with markers, and I brought them to all of the showcasing that I've ever done. So I did Power Kids Club, which is a after school enrichment program for all abilities that do many different programs. They do art and yoga, they do robotics, they do STEM workshops. And I donated actually 5 of my bins to their program. I also showcased at the Girl Scouts Love State Parks event on both days and Girl Fest. And I actually got a pretty big hit because in their like feedback form, everyone's saying, oh, the fidgets were my favorite part. And then I also showcased one of my favorite programs ever, NIAC Teens in Action. They are a program where they go around to these different places and they advocate for all these different causes. They do a lot of activities that are very, very similar to Power Kids, but they're all teens, and they all it's an amazing audience, and I love them so much.
So you mentioned some of the partners that were able to supply you some things for your kids. You also mentioned some of the places where you have put the boxes. How did you connect with those places and get permission to put the boxes there?
I got references mainly from my amazing project advisor, Allison, and she's amazing. I love her. And she was the one that actually connected me with a lot of these places. So I placed one of my bins in Valley Cottage Library. I have had a connection with them through my other friend who does constant activities over there. And I also placed them in the Bridges sensory room. So we have a sensory room in our area that actually, it recently just opened. It's not even a year old. And I donated some fidget bins to there. I also donated to a school called Birchwood School. They're a school that actually has a capacity of about, as of right now, approximately 77 to 80 students. And they are a school that, students benefit from smaller classes or need more support. That's the school that they would go to. They're a K through 12 school. And I actually have a connection with the principal. The principal used to work at my middle school, and she left my middle school and went to that school. So mainly it was just all about communication, mainly. That's what it was all about. Sustainability was also a huge one too, because I had to find partners that were willing to sign my agreement. I made a whole entire agreement, like 2-page agreement. Like I am right now, like I'm becoming a pre-law student at a sophomore year of high school, and everyone's like, I can tell you're a pre-law student because look at all the logistical language you have in here. So it was also very difficult to find people. I wanted to work with originally Helen Hayes, they're a rehabilitation hospital, but because they're a state-run organization, they have a lot of steps that they need to take before I place the project. I said, you know what? I don't feel that I'm ready yet for like a huge state-run organization that I have to like meet all these codes and do all this, do all that, and get a license, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm not ready for that. So yeah, mainly just communication and finding people to sign my agreement was definitely how I connected.
What is Allison's background and how did you meet with her?
She used to be a teaching assistant at my high school. Now she moved to another high school. We had 2 high schools in our district, and she moved to the other high school. And she used to one-on-one someone that I know very well. And, she had a lot of experience in that field. She's also trying to go to college right now to become trying to become a school psychologist. She was very involved in this project. I remember when I was in algebra class last year, I came up to her and I said, this is a project that I was doing. And she was very interested in it. She's like, if I can help you in any way, that'd be great. And I said, will you be my project advisor? She's like, yeah, let's go. We'll do it. So honestly, she's amazing. I'm so grateful to have her. And honestly, she's been so much help. She actually made the labels. She did a lot of my contacting. She also wrote a lot of my emails. So
Who else was on your team?
I've also had people that worked for the individual locations on my team as well. I've had a lot of people from Girl Scouts Heart of the Hudson, my council. I've worked with their girl experience specialist, Caitlin. She's amazing. Love her. And, everyone pretty much on that council or on that team. So yeah, pretty much everyone that I've worked with locations and council pretty much on my team.
How do you feel your leadership skills have changed during this project?
I actually just got promoted to a new role. I'm actually vice president of one of the clubs in my school, and I'm the vice president of recruitment. So I recruit other people. I'm like, hey, come join this team. Let's go. And honestly, I know how to find a team. I've learned communication. Communication is key. My rule is if I haven't heard from you in a week, bye. So I have a very limited tolerance for that, very limited. But, my leadership skills, honestly, I know how to talk to people now. Public speaking has been such a struggle for me because I had social anxiety pretty much all my life. I still do, but it's not as bad as it used to be. I didn't want to hang out with anybody. I wanted nothing to do with anybody. My mom was like, why don't you go hang out with somebody for the day? I'm like, no, we're not doing that. So honestly, I also felt like I broadened horizons with my friendships, because now I know how to communicate with people better and communicate with my teachers a lot better.
What is one of the biggest challenges you had during your project and how did you overcome it?
I would contact locations and I say, hey, we're going to be doing this on this day and this day. And then I get an email the next day. What are we doing? You never told me this. I'm like, go back in your emails. I told you 5 days ago. And, so just mainly the biggest part was communication. Like my project advisor said, if they're not responding back to you, move on, because we don't have time to be going back and forth with you. Another one of our leadership presentations, we had a whole plan in place, and then we show up and our leadership presentation was canceled. And I'm like, who told me this? Nobody told me this. So yeah, honestly, the biggest challenge was indeed just communication, and also finding people to sign my agreement. Also, my agreement was huge. Like I said before, 2 pages long. We're serious. And, some people are like, this is really extreme. I don't know how you found people to sign this. I really don't know how. But hey, I have 4 locations. I did it. I got the thing and we're good.
Can you share some of the specific pushback that people gave you that they didn't want to sign the agreement?
So one of the biggest pieces in my program, the agreement, was, they have to maintain the bins in good working order and in good working condition. And on the last line, it's engraved into my head: failure to adhere to these procedures will result in termination of our agreement to the founder's discretion. That's what got people going, whoa, okay. Well, what if somebody's out that day and it didn't happen? I'm like, well, and yeah, that's pretty much, that was the biggest pushback. A lot of people were very scared about that. And also just maintenance. of the bins. Like they were all worried, like, what's gonna happen if we lose this, lose that? She gonna come and take it away? I'm not that scary in real life. I'm just saying, I'm not that scary in real life.
For a Gold Award project, that's important, though, because that builds in the sustainability component and ensures that your project is going to continue as it's intended. What's a special memory from your project?
I remember doing Girl Scouts Love State Parks, and I had this family actually come up and see the bins and see the project. And they said, "Oh, my daughter's autistic, and it's such a shame that everyone's trying to, stigmatize not only autistic people, but neurodivergent people. And what you're doing is honestly amazing." And I literally was just like crying right there. Like I'm not an ugly crier, but I kind of was an ugly crier at that point. And honestly, I was so proud of myself for not only like raising awareness to the topic, but also seeing that other people were so touched by it. It was the reason why I honestly kept going. And also the day I got my project approved, I kind of took it as like a big deal. I kind of took it like New Year's Day. Like, honestly, I remember like my project advisor was like on the other end. She was like, "Come on, girl, if we get this, like you need to take a video of yourself and post on Instagram." That's exactly what I did. And honestly, those are my two favorite memories. And you know what? It's one of those things where you'll never forget it. You'll never it's in here for life. It really is.
What other Girl Scout experiences have you had that you'd like to share?
Obviously, I did my bronze and my silver. So for my silver award, I made birdhouses, and I placed them at Camp Addison Boyce in Tompkins Cove. And we actually handmade all the birdhouses. We cut the wood, we screwed them in, we painted them, and we put them in. And for my bronze award, actually, it feels so old every time I talk about it. But we actually recreated, so when we were daisies, we made this recycling video for Earth Day. And we were so stuck on what to do for a bronze award project. So somebody had a bright idea, aka my mom, to go back and watch the video. And we're like, we should recreate this. So that's exactly what we did. We recreated our recycling video for my bronze award. And honestly, I just want to say, like, I love being a Girl Scout. I've gotten people like in middle school going like, "You're still a Girl Scout?" Like saying like freshman year of high school, "You're still a Girl Scout?" I'm like, yeah, we don't just sell cookies. Like, we don't just do that. Yes, we sell cookies, and yes, we love them, and yes, we like to eat them. But we do much more than that. And I love. Even when I was at Girl Fest, I felt like I was a part of the whole thing. Like when we were all going around the campfire and we were all singing together, I was like, I haven't felt like this much community in so long. Like considering the world we live in now, like it's so nice to be able to just like enjoy your sisterhood while you have it. And so yeah, it's honestly I love being a Girl Scout. It's one of my most favorite Girl Scout moments ever.
You are a sophomore, which is early for a Girl Scout to have finished her Gold Award. I think it's a great time because junior and senior years go crazy. But now you have 2.5 more years of Girl Scouting. What do you think you're going to accomplish in the next 2.5 years?
I want to keep doing more activities, and I want to keep going to the Girl Scout events. And I say to every single person that meets me, if you ever want support with highest awards, here's my email. Spam me all you want. I don't care. I will help you. And I've actually helped like a lot of girls, not only when it came to ideas, but when it came to communication and the sign off of the final paperwork, I was able to help kind of mentor them with that and give them the resources. But honestly, the rest is history. And you know what? The rest is on God.
Why do you think the Gold Award is so important?
Not only does it show that you can make the world a better place, but you can also be so busy and be so packed in your schedule. Only 5% of girls earn the Gold Award. And you know what? When my teachers heard this, they were like, oh my goodness, why isn't more people Girl Scouts? And I actually met the Girl Scouts of the USA national president, Noreen Fatima Khan. She, oh my goodness. I love her. And I was like, can I get a selfie with you? And she was telling me that like the Gold Award is amazing. Like not only did it open me up to so many more opportunities, but in New York State, we have the Seal of Civic Readiness for New York State high school students that want to graduate with a seal on their diploma. So actually, I was able to substitute my civics learning project with the Girl Scout Gold Award because the minimum for the civics project is actually 40 hours and I have over 80 hours. So they were actually able to factor it in for me. And you know what? Like leadership is amazing. And it really also taught me a lot of leadership skills. Like it teaches you leadership skills, passion skills, how to talk to others about your project, how to public speak. Like now in these days, like public speaking is an essential to life. And I encourage all girls to pursue the Gold Award, you know, even though it's hard, I know. And you know what? I was with you in that position, but you know what? Like the sky's the limit. Like if I can do it, you can do it. And that was what I say to all of these girls. Because mainly I got the, oh, you know, it's really long and, you know, it's a lot of like, there's a lot of pieces to it. It doesn't matter because you're only looking for the reward and even in the progress, like, you know, it's going to be hard. Nobody advertised that it was going to be easy. But at the end, when you get that final approval paperwork, you're going to be so happy that you got into college, you got a scholarship, you got this, you got that. And it's all thanks to the amazing Gold Award. And you know what? I loved my journey. I loved every single portion of my journey. And again, I'd highly encourage all girls, please pursue the Gold Award. You know, it'll make you stand out on a college resume.
If you could give 2 or 3 tips to Girl Scouts who are thinking about the Gold Award or in the Gold Award process and struggling, what are some of the things that you learned that could help them?
Number 1, start as early as you can. You know, you don't know what your council has going on. I've learned this not the hard way, but I've learned it somehow the way that everybody learns it when you submit your paperwork. And why am I not getting a response for 3 months? Because I know seniors in high school who just started their Gold Award project. And I'm like, wow, so you're going to cram it all into your senior year. And my main goal was to, you know, get it done 2 years, the other 2 years, do college apps. So get it done, start as early as you possibly can. FYI, that paperwork is going to take months, like almost months to complete because there's 15 different steps to, you know, completing your proposal. And so I highly recommend also, number 2, work with your mentor. Don't leave your mentor hanging. Coming from my mentor. Don't leave your mentor hanging. Your mentor has so much information to give you, and your mentor will answer so many questions for you. Like you don't even have to go to Google. I didn't even have to go to Google for half the time. So honestly, tip number 2, go to your mentor. And finally, most amazing, I put this on a tote bag. Tip number 3, communication is key. You need to make sure you keep getting the ball rolling because communication is the key to everything. The sooner you start figuring it out, the sooner you contact your locations, the sooner things are going to happen. Don't wait until it's 11:59 p.m. to submit it. The sooner you figure out your plan, the sooner everything's going to happen. And the sooner you communicate with your locations, everyone's going to know what's happening. So those are my top 3 tips. And I hope you utilize them. And somebody please let me know if you utilize them.
What else would you like to share with the audience?
Please do the Gold Award. The Gold Award is so is so amazing, honestly. Not only did it teach me new things, but now I have one more achievement on top of every other. But honestly, pursue the goal to work. Sky's the limit. Follow your dreams, because I say to everybody, it's all mental. It's all mental. In here does not determine what goes on in here. You always listen to in here. Do not listen to in here, because in here's a bunch of lies coming from somebody who has gone through 3 years of therapy to say this. So honestly, please, sky's the limit. And you know what? Just keep going, keep following your dreams. And anyone who wants to hear this right now, if you are struggling with not only just the goal tour, but with anything, just know you are seen, you are loved. And you know what? I love you so much.
How do you make your s'mores?
My goodness, my favorite question. Just kidding. So I make my s'mores not only obviously you make them the classic way, but sometimes I like to do s'mores dip. And sometimes what I like to do is I take caramel sauce, you just drizzle it on over, and you put like vanilla ice cream on top, and you take like the graham crackers and you like scoop them on and you eat it. I know, a lot of sugar. I'm sorry to all of my Italian family out there. I know it's a lot of sugar. I know, but don't eat it every day. But honestly, my go-to s'mores dip. We make it a lot when we go to like camping in a cabin with an oven. Spray that thing with butter, throw in some marshmallows. Put in some caramel sauce. Get the graham crackers. Screw the other ones. Dip it. And you eat it. And that's mainly how I make it. Usually with the classic ones, I don't usually like it because sometimes it can be very messy. And I have sensory issues to very, sticky things. So like usually I say the second way is the classic one, but the first way, always s'mores dip anytime.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Make sure to click follow or subscribe so you always know when new episodes are released. Power your passion and conquer your challenges.
Thank you for listening. If you'd like to be on the show to share your story of how you earned your Gold Award, reach out and send an email to growandsshare@outlook.com. Be sure to catch up on our previous shows on any of your favorite podcasting platforms, as well as view the full video versions at youtube.com/Cheryl M. Robinson. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.